right. So I'm doing a thing here. This is not necessarily meant for anyone in an audience. Um, but that said, I've decided that I'm going to start streaming again. Not to play a lot of games, not to do a bunch of stuff. Um, but I recently, this is kind of just like personal journal, personal diary shit. I think that's what I'm going to be using it for. And hopefully I can get it to work with YouTube. It's currently not working with YouTube. It's just Twitch right now. But that'll be fine. I can do the simulcast thing that I do with Scarish. The entire idea behind this is that I'm going to stream for maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. Just go over some stuff that has been important to me lately. Should have been important to me for a while. But essentially I know I'm talking to myself here, and that's fine. But yeah, I stepped on a scale recently, and I was just like, that's just way too high. And I'm 40, I need to get it taken care of. So this is kind of like me holding myself accountable. So I've started working out again and dieting and eating healthy. Not super, super crazy healthy, but calorie restrictions and very specific meals and times that I'm eating. So yeah, that's sort of the basis around this. My diet is something that I've done in the past that's been super successful for me, which is 5 meals a day spaced out at intervals. So I start at 9, then every 2.5 hours I eat. So 9, 11:30, 2, 4:30, and 7. So that stops late night snacking, which kind of gets rid of all my heartburn problems. And I just think overall it's a little bit better for me in general. And then I'm working out. And working out is something that I am hit or miss on typically. So I've decided that I'm going to start tracking it. And this is another way for me to do that. And something I was doing before me and Robin went to Italy was I was doing 2 workouts a day. So in the morning I was doing 30 to 60 minutes of cardio on a recumbent bike. Which eventually I want to move over into just being running. I used to run a lot, and I kind of want to get back to that and start, doing some 5Ks and winning some medals. Winning, you just finish it and they give you a medal. And then I also want to start lifting more, which is something I'll do in the evenings, where I do 10 minutes of warm-up cardio on the bike, and then about an hour of lifting. So that's something that I just started. I started it yesterday. And during that time, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to start streaming to hold myself accountable. And if this fades off like other things have faded off, then it does. But if not, then I can at least do this and sort of track my progress and just have a video journal of when days don't go well. Because days tend to not go well when you're doing diets and when you're doing lifting, especially when your goal is to cut weight, which is my goal is to gain strength and cut weight, which are 2 things that are usually mutually exclusive, but they don't necessarily have to be. So getting myself back into shape with low weight, high rep workouts with free weights, and then also doing cardio so that I can sort of start my day with that. And I think it'll just be better for me overall in the long run. So that said, I worked on this yesterday. I'm going to switch this over. It actually worked. Oh my God. So I have this wonderful display that will be me tracking this day to day. So day 2, which is today, because I technically started yesterday. So Monday I was like, you know what? Today's the last day for eating like shit. Let's start this thing up. Tuesday hit. I woke up, was going to start doing my regular routine when it comes to the diet. And then I did my exercise, and I was like, okay, cool. Let's start tracking this. And you start your day off by after the first time you use the restroom. That's how I do mine in this system. Just weighing yourself and comparing it and weighing yourself once a day at that exact time. Just to see what your overall is like. So if you have a big meal the day before, sometimes you can go up in weight day to day, even if you've worked out, and even if that meal was like veggies or chicken or something that's healthy. But that said, I had the Thanksgiving weekend, which was a long weekend of just eating like shit and eating tons of food. And so when I weighed myself Monday, I was like, man, that number is high. It's the highest I've ever seen. And I knew it's inflated a little bit because my stomach was full of food and I drank a bunch of water and, soda, blah, blah, blah. So that is to say that my first day results, which I'm about to put up here, are inflated by the fact that, you just take a bunch of pee and a couple big poops, and then all of a sudden you just don't fill your stomach with a bunch of bullshit, and then suddenly it looks like you lost around 5.6 pounds, which is what my number was this morning. It was 5.6 pounds lower, and you might say oh my God, that's amazing, or oh my God, that's bullshit. Realistically, for a guy my size, and I was debating whether or not I was going to say this, but I weighed in at 364. This is the highest I've ever been, by far. It's insanely high. So going down to 358.4, I think is what I weighed in at this morning, if my math is correct. I write it down in a journal at the beginning of every day, and I write down everything I eat. That's not that substantial of a number. That's probably me just adjusting back down to what I'm actually at, which is closer to around 360. So each day moving forward will be a lower number for sure. But that said, at the very least, I'll be tracking it. And I figured I just because I haven't done anything on streaming in a long time, I programmed some stuff in. So yesterday's workout in the morning was one that I'm just going to start having all four up, morning, evening for yesterday and today. That way, depending on when I stream, I can just update these. Yesterday morning, I did it. Yes, I succeeded, so hooray me. I did a pre-programmed workout on my recumbent bike, which was a hilly setup, so it was just alternating low resistance versus high resistance, and it was pretty good. I think I wound up going about 7.5 miles. And then my evening workout yesterday, I did that as well, so hooray me. And that was 10 minutes on the bike, and then I wound up doing, if I remember this correctly, biceps, traps, lats, forearms. And I'm doing 2 exercises for each of those. Each exercise is 3 sets, 3 to 4 sets, and then each set has 10 to 12 reps. Forearms specifically has 4 sets, and that's 25 reps, because forearms is just holding barbells and just curling in and out. But I did that. So, I mean, that's progress, especially compared to the fact that I hadn't been doing shit for a while. So I'm very happy with that. It's good progress. And then this morning, I had to work. I worked right as soon as I woke up. So the beginning of the month is always a big nightmare for me based off my job. But that said, I was able to sneak in a workout between some meetings. So I get to press the good button on that. So 3 dings in a day. My evening workout is set to be at 5:30. So my time, that's in 90 minutes. And I haven't even checked to see. I built up my program. Let me just look at it, and I'll just read it out loud. So, in fact, I could probably just share my screen. Let me see if this works. So I have a bunch of scenes set up, screen share. Let's see if this works. Okay, so it did. So I built this out starting on 11:30, knowing that I was going to... Actually, I think I built this out on Monday, and I just applied what I'd like to see going forward, which is workout A, which is backwards. That's always going to be the evening workout. I prefer to work out by lifting weights in the morning, but realistically with my schedule, it's going to have to be the 30 minutes of cardio, whatever. Workout A on Monday, workout B on Tuesday, Wednesday, which is today, is 30 minutes of cardio. I basically am just shifting this day here. And then Thursday is a rest day, and then so on and so forth. So lifting day, full cardio day, and then resting day is what I'm going to do. And we'll see where we're at the end of the first week of February. This isn't necessarily accurate. This is one of my old workout routines, but chest, I'm going to do bench press, shoulders. Shoulder stuff specifically for me is rehab, because I have 2 really bad rotator cuffs that I did not get surgery on. They opted for rehab. But for me, lifts is essentially kind of a squat with just a front-facing palm down lift with 2-pound weights in my hands. Tricep pull downs, I have a setup in my garage where I can actually use a tricep pull down bar, which is just curling them out. I'll probably do 60 of those, super low weight. Go back to chest, do incline press. Rotator cuff is really, it's just holding your arms out like this, like that fucking cactus from Final Fantasy, and just rotating them. And I do that 60 times. Even just doing that, my shoulders sound like they're grinding, which is fucking horrible. And then triceps, I'm not going to switch it up to a tricep rows, which I do in some workouts. I'm just going to stick with the pull downs. I paid enough for this fucking setup with the pulleys that I might as well just do tricep pull downs again, and then forearm curls to end it. This is something that's old, so I don't even know if it's still applicable, but it was trying to have myself put something in there where I could see this is the time that I can actually do shit. And I can look at it right now and tell you it's definitely not accurate. Okay, so obviously rest day, jerk it, bust a nut 6 times. We're in Destroy Your Dick December, so it's the 3rd, so that's only 3. But by the 31st, we'll see if we're able to bust those 31 nuts or not. Obviously a joke. Rest day, rest so you can heal, bitch. It's something I have to remind myself, because when I actually get into the working out mindset, a rest day for me is dangerous, because it's a day where I can be lazy. And I can convince myself it's not that big of a deal if I don't work out. I had 3 months last year in the summer where I was just sticking to it, hit every day, didn't miss a day. I think I lost 40 pounds. I was the strongest I've ever been. I was I think except for bench press, I was maxing all my weight out, which was great. And we went to Italy. We were there for 3 weeks. Technically, we went to Italy for a week and a half, and then London for a week and a half. And then I got back, and I had lost 2 pounds. So I was like, I ate whatever the fuck I wanted. It's a lot of walking, obviously, when you're in Europe, and I think Europe, and I think that definitely helped. But I was like, hey, how about I just take a weekend to just not worry about it, you know? Just go nuts. Just eat whatever I want, eat some candy, eat some fast food. And that weekend has lasted 13 months. So here we are. That's why rest days are hard for me, because I just really fall off, and I fall off hard sometimes. I just need to get back on it, man. Just accountability and self-control is all it really takes. And most of that is used up at my job, because I kind of have to work my ass off and monitor a lot of stuff. And technically, I'm still working right now. This is just my 15-minute break, which I'm already 13 minutes into. But yeah, so going to go back over to this other scene. It might not transition well. It freezes us a little bit, but nothing too bad. But the other thing I was going to do is just track my total weight loss, which right now is 5.6 pounds from where I started. And yeah, it is a little bit of cheating for your first day, but it also gives you a little bit of momentum. If you have a day where you ate like shit and the number on your scale freaks you the fuck out, then it's like, okay, cool, well, tomorrow I'll be good, and then weigh yourself the next day and see how much you went down. And I kind of need that momentum right now. So I also shaved. I usually carry a beard or a goatee. This is very much intentional. I try and do some skincare on my face at least 3 or 4 times a year, rather than just having a beard and then having your skin look like shit underneath it and you never really realize it. I have a big old fucking pimple I didn't even realize was there until I shaved. But I also convinced myself that only skinny people get facial hair, so I am not going to be growing a beard in except for like the natural growth and shave once a week. I think probably until I hit 30 or 40 pounds lost. And I might do like something fucking crazy, like 50 pounds to keep myself motivated. But if I'm starting at 364, probably looking at like 300 is what I want to get down to, before I even start giving myself any specific reward, like anything. But I think Christmas will be a cheat day just because we're going to be doing, fun stuff, but I will not skip my workout. So this is sort of just me documenting this shit. Zacharias chiming in and tell me I suck. Only for you, buddy. Also, I'm going to miss the playoffs this year, and it fucking bums me out, so you better keep that fucking trophy. That said, I'm going to use this time also to just, for funsies, do a quick screen share, which didn't transition well that time. But while I'm screen sharing, I'm just going to do like Wordle. I do Wordle every day. It's part of my routine. And I feel like if I absorb things from my routine into this, that should make it stick. That's just my mindset. Obviously, I've done 79 days in a row. So clearly I do it a lot. Go away. And I start out with the same 2 words every day. Clout. I get 2 vowels, 3 of the most used consonants out of the way. That didn't go well. And raise, which is 3 more vowels, which has all the vowels out. And now S and R, which are 2 other super highly used consonants. And it really narrows down. This is why I can keep my streak going for so fucking long. Because it really narrows down what words it could possibly be. My longest streak is 148 days. And 99% win percentage is because there's some days where I just forget to do it and it doesn't count those days against you. Realistically, I think it's probably close to like 95 if I were to do all those days. That said, let's figure this shit out. So looking at it, I think it's paste. It is not paste. And this sucks because there's a lot of aced words. So haste, based. I'm missing some. Fuck. Let's just start with haste. Okay, cool. We got it in 4. No worries. Moving on with my life. I play Wordle a lot, man. It's a fun game. I've almost missed it 99 times. I got it once when it was raise, because that used to be my first word. And then twice I've gotten it because I saw Robin get it. And I just put it in to piss her off and be like, oh, I got it in 1. Those 31 twos are legit, though. So that's done. And the other thing I always do, just for funsy, just for myself, is I do tier maker. I just make fucking lists because I'm a stupid fucking weirdo. And someone in the audience, I shouldn't say audience, but in the listenership for Scary-ish was like, I would love to see your ranking for Legend of Zelda, because I talk about Zelda all the time. So let's just fucking do Legend of Zelda for our first one. Let's see what they give us. Bosses, I just want the games. Legend of Zelda games. All right, so S to D. Here's what I am going to do. I don't think all the games are here. Just looking at it, there's only 19. So I'll go through these, and how I'm going to rank these is if I've played them, I'm going to rank them, and if I haven't, I'm not going to put them up there because I don't want to insult anyone. And I will go in order of what's on here. Link Between Worlds I have played. I think it's the best game on handheld. I'm going to put it at A tier. Link to the Past is S tier. I play this game constantly. It's my speedrun game, even though it's not my favorite Zelda. And I think personally it's the best one to speedrun. I do like watching a different one. Watching it, I refuse to speedrun it myself because I think it sucks. But it's compelling to watch. So, Four Swords Adventure. I benefited on Four Swords Adventure from having... Is this Four Swords Adventure? It's so tiny it's hard for me to tell, but I'm pretty sure it is. There's the other one down there. But I actually had 4 friends that had Game Boys and a GameCube, so we played the shit out of this game, and it was a super fun experience, but it definitely has holes if you don't have other people to play with. I'm not sure the difference between the two of them because I am fucking lame, so I'm just going to rank them the same. Link's Awakening is the best story of any of the mobile games, so even though it is not a perfect game by any means, that ending, man, I got to put it at A tier. Majora's Mask is one that I consistently think is my favorite Zelda of all time. Again, story, it's basically Ocarina of Time with the more depressing story and much harder. So I'm putting it at S tier. It's hard for me to not put all of them at S tier because honestly, they fucking rule. Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda of all time. I acknowledge that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm realizing don't appear on this list, are probably better games overall. That said, I always play Ocarina of Time. I also speedrun Ocarina of Time nowadays too, just for funsies. I do speed Link to the Past more, but I'll just play Ocarina of Time start to finish without speedrunning it or mixing it up just because it's super addicting. Seasons and Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, I didn't play either of them. Phantom Hourglass I did play. Did not like it. Felt too... I don't know. I guess I'll give it a B. I'm thinking of Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks felt on rails, so to speak, which is pun intended, which I was not a big fan of. Phantom Hourglass was better, but I liked Link Between Worlds much better. Here's a controversial opinion. Skyward Sword is way better than anyone gives it credit for. People hated it because of the controls, which I understand were fucking weird. But for me, they worked. I didn't have any problem with it. I don't mind revisiting levels if there's been an evolution to it, so it didn't bother me because you see progression within the game when you do that. And the crafting system was fucking dope, and it was the first time there was like a proper crafting system in Zelda, and I like going back and playing it because of that. Okay. Adventures of Link, Zelda 2. So this one's weird. I think it's the worst that I've played, but it's the most fun to watch. I have a friend who speedruns it. He does tournaments. He's really fucking good. It's really fun to watch. Whenever I try and play it, I'm like, ugh, fuck this. I actually have, sitting on my desk right here, this Game & Watch Zelda. And funny enough, I will play the original Zelda on it and beat it within like 2 hours, trying to do a full clear, all items, all that fun stuff. And then I'll, decide to play Link's Adventure, and I'll be like, whatever. So because of all that, no more bloviating or bullshitting, I'm going to put it at B. Original Legend of Zelda. So it's S tier. I don't really have to say too much about it aside from the fact that it's the first one. So much fun to run through. Has a master quest afterwards. So well ahead of its time. All the inventory items just correlating to the dungeon that you're in. All the bosses that you're fighting is just like... And it's fucking 8-bit sprites, I play the fuck out of that game. I'll play it right goddamn now. I think it's amazing. Wind Waker... I remember when they announced Wind Waker and the first trailer came out and they showed the cel-shaded graphics, how pissed I was. Because everyone was waiting for like what Twilight Princess would eventually be. And it just looked so ridiculous. And then you got into the store and realized this is a proper direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. And talk about depressing storylines, finding out that when Link left, Ganon came back. And they had to drown the world to prevent him from getting the Triforce. Like, just fucking super depressing shit. And after you get through all of the adventure, what you think is all of the adventure, then it's like, oh yeah, go collect 8 Triforce pieces across the ocean. I know a lot of folks didn't like how much you had to sail in it. It really didn't bother me because I'm a completionist, and it just felt like an easier challenge than like Assassin's Creed. We have to climb the towers and find the feathers or whatever. So I really, really like Wind Waker. I don't put it at S tier, but I will put it at A. Triforce Heroes. I only played it when I first got the beta code. I did like it. Didn't play a whole lot of it. Not enough where I'm going to rank it. Twilight Princess, I'm going to put up there at A tier with Wind Waker. This is the one I've played least. This is the first time I played a Zelda the day it came out. I should rephrase that. This is the first time where after buying a Zelda the day it came out, which I always do, I hit a point where I stopped. And I was just like kind of disinterested. I wound up going back to it like a month and a half, 2 months later, and then finishing it and loved it. But I was pretty blown away. Like, how did that happen? Like, that's never happened to me before. This is Breath of the Wild. This is S tier. I think this is the first time we all just were like, oh, okay, cool. This feels like the first one. Complete open world. Can pick up any weapon. Can run straight to the final boss if you want to. I didn't really feel like there was a lack of dungeons. I felt like the dungeons were the shrines. And some of them were so fucking complicated and you spent so much time in it. It was almost like it had too many dungeons. And then the 4 fucking Ganon bosses or whatever before you get to the final one. It never felt that way to me. The Minish Cap. I never played Minish Cap, so that one will stay down there too. And we don't have Tears of the Kingdom on here. But if we did, it would also be S tier. I think Tears of the Kingdom is the best Zelda that's ever been made. That doesn't mean it's my favorite. But I do not begrudge anyone who says it is their favorite. I completely agree with a lot of folks on stuff, even if it's not my personal opinion. I wish people understood that. There's a difference between objective best and personal favorite. So when you say things like, what's the best movie ever made? The best movie ever made and my favorite movie ever made are two different answers. And people that don't separate those two are fucking stupid. Anyways, this is my Zelda rankings. So I hope you enjoyed that. Probably not. But either way, about 20 minutes, 23 minutes on this. Totally fine. I'll probably try and keep it tight and faster where I don't have to explain everything next time. And yeah, that's it. That's my blog of the day. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I see there's 2 people here. Don't know who you are aside from Zacharias. He's just here to give me shit. But yeah. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.